Welcome back to Capital Appliance Repair Podcast. Capital Appliance Repair is your most trusted appliance repair company in Ottawa and the surrounding area. You can book our expert technicians today by calling 613-454-1577. Today we have an amazing tip on your washing machine and what to do with that mold on your washer's gasket. For many people, specifically those who live in condos or other small spaces, front-loading washing machines are an incredibly convenient. People who live in a small space go with front-load washers because it allows them to save floor space by stacking their washer and dryer. Although a front-load washer has many benefits for these people, it also comes with a key drawback: mold buildup. Unfortunately, people with front-load washers often have to deal with mold buildup, particularly in the gasket of the washer. What we're talking about here is that rubber seal that rests between the door of the washer and that basket. When you start to see mold buildup in the gasket, you have to deal with that issue as soon as possible to avoid larger issues down the road. In this podcast today, we're going to discuss two options you can pursue in order to get mold out of your life. You can get the gasket replaced, or you can clean the mold yourself. But before we get into these two options, we need to first talk about why it's important to deal with the mold immediately in the first place. We know you don't often think about what goes on in your washer after you press the start button, but it's important to be cognizant of the fact that dirt, water, and lint are all coalescing inside your washer during a wash cycle. This does create bacteria that leads up to mold buildup. If you let that mold sit for too long, you will end up dealing with unpleasing and ill-favored predicaments. First and foremost, mold can cause bad odors, which can completely thwart your efforts to clean your clothes. Imagine putting your clothes through a wash cycle only to have them coming out smelling worse than when you first put them into your washer. Need another reason to get rid of the mold on your washer's gasket? Well, we do have another one. Mold can make you sick. You really are playing with fire if you let mold sit in your gasket for a long time. The longer that mold sits, the more likely it is that you will start to feel under the weather. So when you start to see mold build up on your gasket, you need to spring into action and get that gasket replaced or clean it yourself. First, let's talk about replacing the gasket on your washing machine. Getting your gasket on your washer replaced by a professional appliance repair company is the easiest, safest, and most convenient method for dealing with the mold buildup. Washing machines are pretty complex pieces of machinery, which is why it helps to have an experienced technician fix the problem for you. The last thing you want to do is make the situation worse by either damaging the washer while trying to replace the gasket, or even worse, getting sick while dealing with the problem. Our experts here at Capital Appliance Repair have replaced many gaskets over the years because of mold buildup, so you know you can trust us to deal with this issue quickly and efficiently. Now let's talk about cleaning the gasket yourself. You can also elect to clean the gasket yourself. Luckily, you can clean the mold of the gasket without having to remove the gasket from your washer. There are two different methods for cleaning your gasket. Number one, using vinegar. You can clean your gasket with vinegar. This is a simple and pretty safe method for removing mold, but can also be time-consuming. All you have to do is follow these simple steps. Number one, put on some gloves and some goggles. This is arguably the most important step of all, as safety is number one. Number two, put vinegar into a spray bottle. Number three, spray the mold with the vinegar and let the vinegar sit for 2 to 4 hours. Number four, after this time has elapsed, rinse the gasket with water. And lastly, leave the washer door open and let the rubber dry. The other option to clean your gasket is using bleach. If you are looking for a method that is quicker than the vinegar method, you can elect to use bleach. It doesn't take as long to get rid of the mold, but this method requires more effort. If you want to use bleach to deal with the mold, you can follow these steps. Number one, again, of course, is grab those gloves and goggles. Yes, we are very serious about safety. Number two, mix 1 part bleach with 4 parts of water. Number three, put the mixture into a spray bottle. Number four, spray the mold with the mixture. Number five, let it sit for 15 minutes. Number six, scrape the mold away with a brush. Number seven, rinse with water. And lastly, leave the washer door open and let the rubber dry. Mold buildup on the gasket of your washer is a very serious issue and needs to be dealt with as soon as possible. You can trust our experts here at Capital Appliance Repair with all of your washer repair needs. If you're in need of a reliable appliance repair service, give us a call at 613-454-1577. That's 613-454-1577. We can show up at your home to provide same-day washer repair services and remove that pesky mold from your washer's gasket. Thank you for listening to Capital Appliance Repair Podcast.